Hello everyone, I'm Brandy, I'm 100 Proof Quilter, and this is my quilting corner. As you can see, we are still in the lovely quilting corner. The husband and I went on a weekend trip, so we got absolutely nothing done around the house, so we are still moving things around. But eventually I will have the whole room, and that'll be a great day. So for today, our project is a plastic garbage bag holder, which looks like this. Of course, this one did not turn out like it was supposed to because it's really important that the elastic rebound, and this one did not. So we're going to make this again. It should rebound like this. This is the one I made more manliness. No lace or anything. It's just a double top stitch there. AccuQuilt. Anyway, so what you need for our project is you need elastic that rebounds, important. You need some lace, optional. You don't need the lace, but it's a nice decoration. And you need either a fat quarter, or if you're going to do a color block type of design, you'll need so a fat quarter is 18 by 22, I think, somewhere in there. So what I have is I have 2 pieces of black that are 7 by 18, and then my butterfly design, which is about 7.5 by 18, give or take, because I wanted it to be a little bit bigger. Your dimensions can be totally different. You can make these way small, the color block way smaller, or however which way you want to do it, as long as it equals about a fat quarter size. And then you need a ribbon or a hook type of thing. So on this one, I used 4.5 inches of this for my loop right here. But because this black elastic doesn't rebound very well, I'm going to use it for the hook, for the little loop. I think that way I use it up. This was something I got for free when I got all that other fabric. So your first step is going to be sewing these strips together. This is the easy part. You do want to make sure that they're even. And I am not even. So I am going to make sure my one side is even there. And we're going to trim this. I don't know how I got it uneven because I measured. I did. I swear I measured. So we're going to trim this off a little bit so that we're even. Okay. All right. Now we're going to sew these together. And because the black is a solid, it doesn't really have a right way or a wrong way. Now I just have my 0A foot on because I am going to be doing some zigzagging, and I forget which foot I have on, and I can't tell you how many needles I broke. So we're just going to stick with the one for this. We're going to make sure we're on the right spot here. Turn on our light. So make sure you stay together. Your pieces stay together. You can clip them or pin them. I don't usually for this part. But we are going to make sure that our seams are straight here. I have a little tiny, I never thought I would use that. I got it in a subscription box, and I find that I actually use it quite a bit. Now, usually you would press to the dark side, but because we're going to top stitch this, hi Kathy, how are you? It doesn't, I prefer to bring it on the pattern side, just because the top stitch looks much better that way, I think, but it's going to be hidden under the lace anyways. So, but you're going to want to top stitch this down just so that you don't have anything catching on those plastic bags. Hi Gladys, how are you? So, now you can top stitch it down now, or you can top stitch it down later. I make sure for these projects that whatever thread I'm using, I have both in the bobbin and in the top thread, because you never know what somebody's going to see. Okay. So we're just going to do a quick top stitch, about 1/8 of an inch from the seam line. And like I said, it doesn't have to be perfect because we are putting some lace on that seam. So we just want to give it some structure so it don't fall apart. I am good. It is storming here. So if I disappear, it's because my power went out. It's been blinking. It hasn't blinked in the last hour, but there for a minute, it was blinking a lot. Okay, so that's what we have so far. Now we're going to put the other black piece on. And you just want to do about 1/4 of an inch here. The only time you won't do 1/4 of an inch is you'll do more like 1/2 an inch when you sew them together. I fold the seam in and kind of make a French seam. Oh, I'm sorry I missed it. I've been getting ready for this. I can never remember who's on and when they're on. And sometimes if my work day is a little slow, I'll jump on and see who's live. I'm a horrible person. Okay. There's Nancy, who's on like when I first get to work, and I play Nancy Gifts HQ. She's on at like 7 a.m. my time, and I will play her in the background while I'm at work doing my morning reports. So we're just gonna. So I'm actually making this for a friend of mine who says that right now all her Walmart bags are underneath her sink. So I'm making her one of these to put her Walmart bags in. And then the one that I made, that's the hunting one, going to be a set of stuff for a silent auction deal. Okay. This is a super, super easy, quick project, especially if you didn't do the color block like I'm doing. if you just did a back quarter, this would be done in nothing flat. I tend to like projects that I know I can finish during a live. I hate leaving people to, you know, have to wait till the next time we get together to finish a project. So, okay, so here's our lace. And so on this lace, it has this little spot right here in the center. That is where we're going to sew down. This is the only time that I'm going to change my thread. And I have this Aurifil, I don't know what color it is. It's a tan color. So we're going to switch out our thread real quick. The bottom thread doesn't really matter because it's going to be on the black, so I'm not real worried about that, but I really don't want black thread across the lace. The lace I got on the free table at my guild, I'm telling you that yearly cost for the guild sure does pay for itself. Okay. And we are going to line that right up on the line. Now this I'm probably going to pin somewhere. I have pinned here somewhere. And we're just going to do every so often just because I want the lace to be in a certain spot. So I do not want it moving around. I'm going to scissors back. Love these things. Okay. And we're going to change our stitch to a zigzag. And we're going to make it just a tad bit. And that should be good. It's right there in the middle to hold that in there. I'm a little light back. Doesn't do me any good if it's sticking out, right? Uh-oh. That doesn't sound good. Yeah, we got a little nest down here. And I know why. Because I had left my thread standing up and it needed to be down. Hi, Kevin. How are you? Guys, if you haven't checked out Kevin's channel, it's a great channel. Meet lots of new friends on there. All right, let's try this again. It does not like this thread today. And you know, it's not the first time I've had trouble with Aurifil. I'm going to rethread the machine here. Whew. All right. Let's see what we got going on here. Okay, we're going to rethread. And we're going to see if we can get this mess that we've got going on down here now. You know, it's one of those things. What can go wrong will go wrong during a live. Got a little nest going on down there. I'm going to pull that out too. Well, we're going to pop this bottom off real quick and see, get the rest of that piece that stuck. Don't lose those. There it is. She does need to go in for a spa day. It's been a minute. And that's how you get a nest out from underneath there. If you didn't know. I just changed the needle because I have been doing a lot of sewing lately. I changed it yesterday. But she does need a spa day. I just got my serger back from a spa day. It's like a whole new machine. Oh, thank you, Kathy. Kevin, Kathy, and Gladys both have channels as well. All right. Let's try this again. Take two. Let's see. We need to go all the way back here. Go back to there. All right. Let's try this again, folks. Well, she's acting better. Take a pen out. All right. And I don't worry about back stitching because the ends are going to be sewn together. So we do not worry about that. So this is what we've got so far. I always try to see if there's a right way or a wrong way. And it's very hard to tell with this lace. But if I can't tell, then the person I'm making for it probably can't tell either. So. All right. As before, I'm just going to put a couple pins in just because I want the lace to stay straight. I got a little wrinkle there. Flatten it just a little bit. Give it a little bit of love. Doesn't need a lot. Okay. There we go. Put that right there. I will probably forget I put it there. Over here. Okay. Just go straight down the middle. Hi, Karen. How are you? Alice seems to be feeling a little better now. Let's see if we can get through this. Can't sew too fast. See how everything shakes? Goodness. This table. Once I move to my new table, I won't have so much shaking, rattling, rolling going on. Okay. Where'd my little scissors go? That didn't cut that time. Okay. Let's trim that just a little bit. There we go. Okay. So now this is what we have so far. I think the butterflies go both directions, so I don't think it really matters. This is what we have so far. Aw, thank you. Let's see. So, all right. So next, we're going to switch back out our thread. And I am not super experienced at this next part, so we'll see how it goes. I am going to use my rolled hem foot. Yikes. Terminology. Now you don't, this part you can iron it, whatever. You don't have to have a rolled hem foot. I just happen to like the small hem it gives you. And then when the elastic curls it in kind of like a piece of candy, this is perfectly hemmed. So I love this little rolled hem foot. So to get it started, I just take this little piece here and I give it a tiny press just to get it started. I don't know how else to do this. Like I said, I'm learning how to use this foot. And it always takes me a second to get it going. But I'm not very good at it. And I haven't actually used it on anything other than this project. I played with it, but I didn't use it for anything. Oh. We just came unthreaded. Oh, joy. Work with me here. Work with me here. There we go. See? Told you I'm not very good at this part. Get in there. Went too big of a piece there. Oop. When you're doing new techniques, you know, and it helps you put it on the right stitch. Good grief. Pay attention to what stitch you're doing. Zigzag stitch on this is not going to work. I'm just saying. Now that I'm going, as long as I don't come unrolled, we should be good. Like I said, helps if you're on the right stitch. This needs a straight stitch. Zigzag will not work. Did you see all the trouble I was having? Woo. All right. Now we're cooking with gas. It'll take me 20 minutes to get the other side going too. Have no fear. Like I said one time, we should call this Mistakes with Brandy. Ugh. Or the learning curve with Brandy. After all that trouble, we do have a nice, beautiful rolled hem. Ta-da! I don't know how well you can see that on the black. Now, let's try the other side. Our stitches came through from that other thread because we were having all those issues, but nobody's going to see the inside of it. And if they judge you from the inside of something, they ain't your friend. Okay. I think I curled that other one just a little too much too on top of the issues I was having. Let's try this. Come on, get over there. It is not curled up on there. Come on, get up there. Where's my stiletto? There we go. Much better this time. And this little stiletto I got with my koala sewing machine table. The gentleman that sold it to me, it was inside of it. this, and there's a little seam ripper, which is in the living room with my fabric art picture that I've been working on. Which is in the living room because I decided to glue some of my confetti in different spots so that it stayed where I wanted it to stay before I sew it up. Okay. Let's see what we got, folks. Ta-da! All right. Got some random threads here from our catastrophe earlier. Okay, so next, and we are almost done, guys. So as you can see, if you were doing just a straight fat quarter for this, you would be way done by now. But so for me, I basically take this, which is an 1 3/4 inches. It has a 1/4 inch on this side and a 1/2 inch on this side and 1 inch in the middle. So it's about 1 3/4 inches. And that I'm going to make a line right here, and that's where I'm going to stitch the elastic. So this is black fabric, so my little handy dandy white pencil here. I have other marking tools, but this one's my favorite, and I'm not even sure where I got it. I'll have to see if I can get another one, because I bought another chalk marking tool, and it doesn't do very good. The white doesn't mark at all. The yellow marks, the gray marks, but the white chalk seems to be, I don't know, malfunctioning. Okay. So now we have our lines for the elastic. And I don't measure the elastic. What did I do with the elastic? I don't measure it. I probably should and figure out exactly how much I need. But let's change our foot again. Okay. And we're just going to put the elastic right there on the white line. And I'm going to stitch a couple stitches after I change my stitch here. Okay. Then you're going to start stretching the elastic. And you want to give it really good stretch, depending on how tight you want that. I need to get past this so I can hold the other side. You do need to hold the other side after you do this. Start to do this. I think I need that stitch to be a little. Need to grab the other side here. It's much easier when I'm not on camera, I honestly swear. Because you need to hold back, and once you get it started, it is much easier. It's getting that started part that's really hard. And I'm doing a zigzag stitch, and I dropped my zigzag to about a 3.0 so that because this is a 1/4 inch elastic. That's why I said I don't measure. I don't measure the elastic. I should probably figure out how much I use per side. Once again, I don't backstitch because this is going to be enclosed in the end, so I'm not worried about it. But this is what you should get. It should be wavy like this. And you should still have good stretch rebound, or else you get crappy elastic, which I did have. And then we're going to do the same thing on the other side. It's going to take us forever to get it started. Okay, once again, you go do the one-handed deal. And this is why I put the line there, because there's nothing really to follow. And you want to pull it at the same rate just to give it some structure, or else your elastic isn't going to stretch properly. Ask me how I know. Most everything I learned by error. Sometimes I learn by error on a live, so it happens. And I didn't check to see how much I cut off to begin with, but I still have this much elastic left, so I would rather have too much than not enough. Got some random strings here. Okay, so now you should have two sides. Both of them you should have good elastic on both sides. So next, we're going to turn this backwards. And this is where I sew about a half inch, because I'm going to fold this over. After I sew down it, I'm going to fold this over and kind of tuck it in and do a zigzag stitch. Now, some people serge them, and that might be an option if my serger wasn't in the living room. So we are just going to pin it and make sure we're even. You can clip it, pin it, either one works, but you want to make sure you're even. You want to make sure you get your lace even and your seam there. Those are the important parts. You put your elastic together and make sure your top is even. Okay, change our stitch back to a 1. See why I didn't change my foot? Okay. And like I said, I do about a 1/2 inch here because I'm going to fold it. I'm looking for my 1/2 inch. 1/2 inches. Once you get through this part and you roll it, it's a little bit easier. This is where if I'm going to have trouble, it's going to be here that I get crooked. Okay. Now I use clips on this next part just because it's easier to clip when it's folded. That's probably more of a 1/2 inch. Might be a whole inch. Anyways, point being is you want the seam line to be enough that you can fold this in. You want to kind of roll it. And then you get clips. So that you don't have any raw edges is the point of this. And then I will zigzag with the same length of stitch that I did for the elastic. Be very careful going over the thick parts because it does get thick where the lace is. So just go slow. And everything will be fine. And I mean, if you wanted to, you could trim some of that lace out of there so that it's not so thick. Do that. Do that on the other one too after I roll this up. It's still going to be thick, but it won't be as thick. And I think if I was making a bunch of these, I would definitely serge them. But for purposes of this, and not everybody has a serger, so shorter picture. I don't think I'm going to unroll this. I already got it in there. Okay. See what I mean? It does not like those thick parts. So be very, very careful going over them. And then I just use my stiletto to keep the fold together. This part is very, very slow. That started to come undone right there, so we're going to hold it there. Now remember, go kind of easy over the thick parts. Then once you're over it, you can go back. Come on, roll up a little bit. We're getting ready to come up over thick part again. Remember, just take your time over the thick part. Once you're over the hump, we're almost done. We have one more thick part to go, and then we're home. Okay, I'm unrolled a little bit here, so we're going to do some refolding there. Okay, now here's that elastic piece. We just want to make sure we tuck it in. Go slow. And then we're over the hump. Okay. And then we have an enclosed seam. Ta-da! Like I said, if you have a serger, that would be much, much quicker. But I was going to show you guys this way for that couple of reasons. All right. Then you turn it right side out. Not too bad. We're pretty even. Last step is to install the loop, and you're done. So we're just going to use some of this. And I'm just going to tack it down right here on the seam. Hide it right there in that seam, and it'll also tack that seam down. Okay. Now I am going to backstitch because I want to go back down that same little section I just came up to really tack that loop through. We're going to go back up one more time because the loop is going to get the most pull and use. So you want to make sure it's really attached. Very good. And then because we did the same stitch that was already there, can't really see it on the black thread. So, and your bag is done. Now all you need are Walmart bags or whatever plastic grocery bags you use, and you stuff them in and pull them back out at the bottom. Ta-da! And we finished 7 minutes early. 8 minutes early. I can't tell time. Perfect, quick, handy gift for, you know, hostess gift or wedding presents. A couple of these, get them one of these. Some oven, you know, an oven mitt, towels with towel topper designs on it. It's a whole kit and caboodle. Put it in a little basket, decorate the basket, and you are good to go. Well, everyone, I so appreciate you guys hanging out with me today. I know that you could be spending your time with anybody, anywhere, and you chose to spend it with me, and I appreciate that. Next week, we'll see what we got on the agenda. I am not sure, but I will have a quick and easy project for next week as well. You guys go out there, find some gorgeous fabric, make some fabulous quilts or crafts. Try not to spend too much time with that divorce lawyer, and I will see you next time. You guys have a great day. Have a wonderful week. Bye, everyone.